The leaks for chapter 342 just dropped, and it's flipped everything upside down. In this video, we see Karasu being a complete mastermind and leaving the whole Blue Lock side in complete shambles. But I know you guys don't like being spoiled, so you will have to wait to know more. However, trust me, the ending after that is just insane. But not to waste any time, let's get right into it. Alright, so the chapter starts off with the text saying, "The unpredictable link from Karasu to Shidou, the pent-up demon bears its fangs." With that, we see firstly Isagi looking at everything going down in total disbelief, as he wonders if Karasu is using Shidou as his main weapon, which, to be fair to Karasu, is a pretty savage move. Anyway, we then see this insane panel of like a demon straight from hell surrounding Shidou as he just got the ball. After that, he starts to look super manic as he screams, "Here we go," and the bottle is popping. After that, we of course get to the boy Charles, who is right by Isagi at that. Anyway, Charles just can't help but laugh a ton. He then says that it's here over and over again before calling out Shidou's name. Charles explains that the Neo-Egoist League, since they were on the same team, he can just tell, telling the whole world that a combination with Karasu is heating up. And honestly, I just love how it doesn't even sound like he cares at all that they might get scored on. After that, we see Shidou completely bodying two of the France defenders as he goes honestly pretty wild. But while that is going down, we also get to Karasu, who says that before Hugo comes, he will finish this with a fast break. Karasu then goes further and explains that according to his analysis, no matter where Shidou is, he stays true to himself, calling him a living creature of strength and fear. And if you take it positively, he's a genius who expresses himself. But on the other side, if you take it negatively, he is an existence that radiates such an indiscriminate energy that the people around him cannot help but be influenced by it. So either you change yourself to match Shidou or you oppose him. There is no other way to communicate with him, calling him a demon whose ego is being tested. By the way, while that was happening, we saw Shidou once again turning into some sort of demon-like creature before he passed the ball over to Hiyori. Anyway, with that out of the way, we get over to the hero, Isagi, who, as he is running, is stuck in his own brain as he says that he understands. He says that thinking back on it, he has never been able to create a chemical reaction with Shidou, wondering if it is because he adapts too much to the opponent. He then says no, and thinks that it's because he is definitely trying to devour his opponent to go for the goal himself. But as he looks at Karasu, he thinks that he is different from Isagi, saying that no matter who the opponent is, he maintains an easy-to-manage distance. By moving closer or pulling away, he can both respect and deny, because he is a balanced, independent player. With that, we also saw Hiyori passing the ball away to none other than Karasu, who traps it pretty coldly. But come on, we want more of Isagi, so he heads right back to him as he thinks that the unique mentality of not being swayed by Shidou's influence pierces through at this stage. With that, we get back to Karasu, who looks around and says that understanding Shidou's intense demands and imagery to link up with him is a feat only he can pull off, because he is colder and more detached than anyone else. He looks determined as he explains that it's not like he particularly likes that side of himself though. We then get to Gabin, who is pretty much a French no-name, but he is right by Shidou and thinks that Shidou just got by him with a run from the blind spot. After that, we see Karasu's eyes starting to legit burn up as he explains that using Shidou as his piece, he, Karasu, will win against Isagi, and that it's a winning path for a change in power. And with that, he wastes no time as he then sends away the ball right away. Shidou has his eyes glued right onto the ball as he then says that after that, all that's left is to smash it in, and he calls it a simple little job. But is it really going to be just that simple? As such, out of nowhere, we see Loki, who looks demonic, and he comes up to Shidou and tells him that he already knows all about his perversion, as he was formerly his master. Shidou just looks to his left and is super confused to see him here. Karasu, who obviously also sees this, thinks that there's no way that he actually caught up, which, yeah, to be fair, is kind of wild. Hey, it's Natsu mid-editing here, and I just wanted to pause the video to ask you to subscribe if you haven't already, and while you're already down there, why not leave a like as well? Shidou then starts to look fired up, but also with a mix of annoyance as he tells Loki that he sure is fast. However, Shidou then starts to almost freak out as he starts to laugh out of nowhere and says, "Murder." He explains that it's a 50 split-second dead heat, and that whoever touches the ball first reaches ecstasy, which sure is true. So is it going to be Shidou, or is it going to be Loki? Well, in the end, it ends up being none of them, as out of nowhere, BAROU pops up and steals away the ball while having his lion out and looking super fierce. He traps the ball with his chest and says that it's you total cell explosive bastard. Also, I forgot to mention, but we also see BAROU with his predator eyes out and ready. Anyway, Shidou is just super lost about what he is talking about. But BAROU then gets down and explains that instead of Isagi, he is the new king of Blue Lock. And with that, he lands behind both Loki and Shidou, and then behind them, he fires away an insane shot right to the goal while it's heading there. Isagi just sees this and calls out his name in pure awe. But after that, we see the ball heading straight into the net, and with that, BAROU screams out with everything he possibly has in himself as he finally celebrates his well-deserved goal. We also see the crowd and the commentators being completely over the moon for this spectacular goal. The commentators then speak up as they say that it's a lightning-fast counter from an interception of Shidou's pass. The signal for a counterattack comes from this man. While we see Aiku and Aryu heading over to celebrate right away, we see Isagi just standing still as he looks really lost. He thinks that BAROU cut him off because he was useless. He took the most annoying formation, which was a Karasu and Shidou centered strategy, and replaced it by devouring Shidou, which is what the king does. We then move on to Shidou, who looks right at him with completely dead eyes as he tells him that it sure was impressive, but still he calls it some Mukachin level hyena behavior and calls BAROU a scavenger. BAROU just looks right back at him, and his facial expression is completely insane as he tells Shidou that if he is frustrated, then he should try to devour BAROU back and calls him a total cell-explosive bastard. While the two of them are doing that, Isagi once again thinks that the double jokers are handed right to him, the new ruler, Karasu. Karasu then has a really smug expression as he says that this is it, telling them to keep it coming, and that he is the one who will run the show now, which is straight up insane. But Isagi can't believe it, as he wonders if it is really possible that the team with him on it is stronger than the one where he is number one, wondering if his place on the field is disappearing, which, just hearing that coming from Isagi, is something I could never imagine hearing. He then sees Karasu being right by Shidou and BAROU, and thinks that Blue Lock is being stolen away by Karasu. After that, we see Rodan, who is the French coach. He calls out to Loki and Hugo and tells them to come here for a second. He tells them that if they lose in a place like this, do they really think that they can win the World Cup? Hugo tells him that straight no, and that he doesn't think that at all. But he then shoots as he explains that it's because Loki doesn't finish his goals when he is supposed to. Loki just starts to look annoyed as he fires back by saying that Hugo is annoying, saying that it's Hugo's passes, and that they are bad. Anyway, after that, we see Rodan telling them that they will be doing a formation change. He tells them to be bolder and more aggressive, and to show him their talent. Loki agrees right away as he tells him that, in all honesty, there's no need to say it. Hugo, who is under him, also agrees right away. The text then says that Vivian Hugo knows. After that, the match is back in full action, and Hugo thinks that in the same era, in the same country, meeting Loki was his destiny, and that he knows that for sure. Then at the bottom, we also see a panel of the two of them, being a tiny bit younger or just in training, as the text then says, two people who were meant to be drawn together. This encounter was inevitable, and everything follows the path of their compatibility, which, if I can be like that, it just sounds completely awesome. Anyway, we then learn that there will be no break next week, which is just insane, as the author is going completely wild. Also, the next chapter will be called Vivian Hugo, so he can just almost certainly say that it will be a chapter completely surrounded by Hugo and from the last panel. I think it's also pretty clear that it's going to be surrounding his backstory a bit more, and potentially about how he met Loki and how the two of them got close. You know, that classic stuff after all. Anyway, this chapter was pretty insane. I'm not even going to lie. I have been dead certain that it was going to be Shidou who was going to score for like so long. But to see BAROU coming in here out of nowhere and scoring a killer goal, I can't say anything else than that I just simply love it. Not just because I prefer BAROU over Shidou, but it also just flipped the whole match upside down for me, as I have no idea what is going to happen next now that, well, I was completely off about this. Now I do feel bad about Isagi though, and he needs to start doing something right this second, because Karasu taking over the team can't be happening. Now I don't dislike Karasu, not at all. I just love Isagi, and I can't see it going on like this for very long. So I feel like Isagi is close to some sort of level up for sure. I just don't quite know what it is going to be yet, but if you have any idea, then please leave it down below. And also let me know in the comments what you thought about the goal, but also just the whole chapter as a whole. Anyway, if you like Blue Lock and videos like this, then I would highly suggest you subscribe to this channel, and while you are at it, leave a comment and a like. Also, if you can, hype the video down below, as it helps out with the algorithm a ton. And if you're curious to see another video of mine, then please watch the video that will be popping up on the screen now. Anyway, thanks for watching, and have a great day. Bye.